we're here on our first rep chat, and we've got Willy. And Willy's here to talk to us about some Electro-Voice products, and specifically the RE3. Willy, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? You're obviously representing Electro-Voice.
Yep.
What else do you guys do?
My name's Willy Seltzer, and I work for Image Marketing West here in NorCal, and we are manufacturers reps for a number of different audio, video, lighting, and even power distribution companies, including Electro-Voice and Allen Heath and Zoom and Chauvet Lighting and a bunch of others. I believe today you wanted to talk about the Electro-Voice wireless.
Absolutely. We heard about this thing. We want to talk about it a little bit. And the reality of it is, Willy was completely unaware that we were going to do this today.
It's true.
He's driving down the street, and I saw his car. I said, "Hey, Willy!" And he pulled in, and I said, "Let's do a rep chat." So he's the first one on KinsProSound.com rep chat, and today we're going to talk about the RE3. So let's start with that. So let's open this thing up and talk a little bit about the RE3, Willy.
So let me just a brief overview.
Okay.
Obviously, Electro-Voice has been doing wireless for a long time, but in the last couple of years, they sort of put the brakes on development of new wireless because there was a lot of discussion about what the FCC was going to be doing with frequencies and changing channels.
Are you referring to like the 700 meg thing, the 600 meg thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and a lot of those UHF channels. And they're still in the process of changing a lot of them. And so within the next couple of years, there are going to be a lot of different, even around here, some of the local channels that maybe on this particular channel are going to be changing to other channels. And so they're migrating some channels to other areas. And so until that's done, there's going to be a little confusion as far as what channels are acceptable and whatnot. But at any rate, EV, until the FCC kind of laid out a plan, they didn't want to pursue this until they knew they could do it in a way that made sense.
Right.
So for all intents and purposes, Electro-Voice, they do the RE3 now in 3 different frequency groups.
Okay.
There is a low 500 band, which gives you 1,440 different channels that you can choose from. There is a high 500 band that gives you 1,440 channels that you could choose from as well. And then they do a mid 6 band. And as far as I know, EV is the only one doing wireless in the 653 to 663 band right now.
So I have a question / comment. Is that the 600 band or part of the 600 band that we originally thought all of it was taken away from us? And what you're telling us is that there is a small portion of it somewhere, I'm going to just guesstimate, in the middle, that we are still allowed to operate, and these microphones will allow us to operate, providing that there's not an actual TV channel right on top of us.
Right. So the FCC has allotted for wireless transmission, microphone transmission, within that 10 band frequency group. And why that particular 10 bands exists is because there is a large cell phone company that uses the frequencies below and above that for their upstream and downstream transmission, and they have to have that 10 bands as a block to make sure that everything runs stable.
Like a, for lack of a better word, a guard band between the two.
Right.
Okay.
So by all indications, that is going to be a stable 10 frequencies of channels that you can use probably till at least, say, 2024. Is the next time that there's been word that maybe the FCC may do something.
Happen.
But at least until 2024, they can't touch those 10 bands.
Oh, that's good.
Right?
That's longer than we had on the last change.
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes for a great opportunity anywhere in the country for people to use the wireless and know that they're not going to have any interference in that particular frequency group.
Do you happen to know the actual UHF channel number that these operate in?
I do not. The Electro-Voice website, there is a frequency calculator that you can
Oh, yeah.
use to where you put in your zip code and it will show you the frequencies and channels that are available to you.
And we, well, I see we loosely. It's my staff. See, there are other people, the smart people in the company. What they'll do is they'll put the link to this information below this video. So after you like us and subscribe to us, look down there at the bottom, and we're gonna have the link directly to this product, and we'll have a link to the Electro-Voice site that has the frequency descriptions and the different explanations to give you a little heads up of what's going on.
Right. So you can find your frequencies, and the only potential limitation in that frequency group is the number of systems you could run simultaneously.
Right.
You could do 2 pretty easily, and maybe up to 4, but that's really the limitation. But other than that, you could go anywhere in the country and not have issues in that frequency group.
Right, as long as there's not a UHF TV channel right on top of you.
Right, and again, until 2024, they're not supposed to. So.
Not supposed to. Okay, that's cool. All right, well, let's take a look at this sucker and see what it looks like.
So this particular one is the RE3, which has the ND76 microphone element, which is a handheld transmitter.
Okay.
So the handheld, the transmitter, it's metal construction, and they now run their systems. They're AA battery.
Okay.
And
cool.
you can use rechargeable battery. And they do actually offer a recharging kit that will allow you to charge 2 systems simultaneously, be it 2 handheld or 2 body pack or 1 of each simultaneously. Electro-Voice doesn't make their batteries specific, so I think that you could use any rechargeable battery.
Cool.
And it should work.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Using the rechargeable batteries, I think it's a great idea because I call it one to show, one to go. You have 1 pair in your charger and 1 pair in your microphone.
Right.
Very good.
So in the handheld systems, there are actually 5 different versions you can get, and they are interchangeable. The threading is interchangeable with each of the microphones. So in the handheld versions, there is the ND76, and then there's an ND86, and then the ND96. They all have different characteristics about them that may work better or worse for whatever voice you have. There is a microphone element that is suited for your voice.
Gotcha.
Those are in the dynamic ones, and then they also make 2 in the condenser. There's an RE420 and an RE520 that are the condenser elements that you can put on these. Now, if you're familiar with the ND series microphones at all, the ND76 microphone is the entry level. A couple of years ago, they were redesigned. I'm going to tell you that EV sort of invented the way a lot of other microphone manufacturers do their microphones. EV was the first to introduce neodymium magnets in their microphones. Right? So other companies, they use that now, and it's great because the neodymium magnets make for a clearer sound and a higher output. Right? But one of the things that EV does with their microphones on both their handheld and their wireless is that 3-stage pop filter. There's a pop filter in the cap, and then there's a filter right in here, and then another one right here on the element.
Oh, wow.
So it's designed with a material that helps to resist moisture. Yeah.
So it's obviously threaded. We take it on and off very easily.
Yep.
That's cool.
Also, humbucking pickup, mic element. So the humbucking helps in obviously rejecting any RF, and then also potentially, just like any guitar, gives you a bit more gain, a bit more output.
Humbucking cancellation.
There's that,
characteristic.
Right.
I made that up.
And floating capsule.
Cool.
So with the floating capsule, it is you get less handling noise. So compared to a lot of other microphones, you'd find that even doing this, you're going to not hear that as much.
Very good.
Being able to change the microphone elements is big. It is a threading that other manufacturers use. So if you wanted, you could potentially use other manufacturers' elements on this.
So it's a standard thread and connection that other manufacturers are using currently. So if you happen to have something that you would prefer to use, not only can you purchase the Electro-Voice head that you are interested in at the time, you can change your mind, buy a different one later. And if somebody pops up and says, hey, I have brand A, B, or C with the same threads, it will work too.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So that's the handheld portion of that. There is a body pack. So the body pack transmitter, again, look at that, you get a nice little pouch.
Yeah.
A little leather pouch. So if you'll notice, again, metal.
Can I touch it?
Please.
Oh, wow, look at that.
All metal.
And, oh, the battery door. Oh, I see. Flips open. Oh, that's cool.
So notice, though, that the latch that you use to open it, it's not on a spring. It's magnetized. So when
Oh, that is cool.
so you don't have to worry about, spring popping out and having to replace the spring or anything like that. That won't break.
That's cool.
Right.
Well, I like that because I've had some speakers, people that are public speaking, have these things on, and they just pat the side of it, and the door falls open.
Right. Yeah.
I've had that happen several times. That's very good. Well,
And they make a number of different microphone elements that you can use with this, be it the lapel microphones or horn microphones for wireless guys that want to do that. So with the body pack, again, metal chassis, same thing as far as rechargeable. You can use, and you don't have to worry about
very
the
good.
latch.
Very good.
The receiver, just like the pros. Using the BNC type connector with the antennas now. Stock antennas. Purdy.
Those are pretty. Those look like full-size half-wave antennas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the case on that is also metal.
Yep. Full metal case, and the kit. They call it a kit. The kit comes with a obviously a power supply and then a single rack mount kit. So you can rack one system, and it's in the box. So you can rack one system with it. You can purchase a dual mount kit, and then you can also run your antennas to the front and connect into that. As far as accessories for it, you can get, there are a couple of different paddle antenna options, both passive and active. There is a two system antenna combiner that would allow you to connect to, and then they'll only use the one pair of antenna.
Okay.
And then they also make an antenna distribution that will allow for you to connect 4 of the antenna distribution systems together. So you could run 16 systems simultaneously with one set of antenna. And as you connect the antenna distribution together,
Right.
you don't lose any channels. It's a true pass-through. So you're daisy chaining the systems
Okay.
without losing any channels to do it. So you
So
can
the-
get 16 complete.
So the 4-channel combiner, if I understand this correctly, will operate 4 units, and it has a daisy chain to the next combiner.
Correct.
Oh, cool. So you can do up to 16 of them in a rack,
Yep.
and each 4-channel combiner. Does it supply the power to the 4 units that
does.
it's operating?
It does.
That's very cool. Now, on the rack mount kits, I notice it comes with the rack ears to rack 1, and it has the place to put your remote antenna. Does it
Does not come with a remote
does not,
kit to
does not
mount
come with the
antenna,
remote
so
kit.
you would have to purchase
So when
that.
you buy the kit to mount 2 together, is it just a joining plate?
There is a joining plate, and then you get the smaller
shorter
ears,
rack
yeah.
ear. Okay.
Yeah. And they'll
Cool.
attach to the side.
Gotcha. But it comes out in the box, ready to go for 1 rack space, with the antennas that are included.
Correct.
Very good.
So real quick, you asked about the power for the systems. It will provide
Yes.
power for all the systems as well.
Yes, I
So
do.
obviously that you don't have to worry about a bunch of wall warts on your power supplies, right?
Right. So we don't have an antenna farm and a power supply farm.
And it will also power your active paddles.
Okay. Curious, real quick, as far as usability, so the end user can pull out of the box and get it running. Does it scan? How would you program this thing out of the box?
You can run a scan, and it'll find active channels that are usable in your area, and then it's a quick sync
So okay,
to
so
the transmitter.
perfect. You're answering my question.
Yep.
So the receiver scans, picks the frequency, and after that's done, and then you hold the microphone up and push sync, and it syncs the scanned frequency to the transmitter, and they're hooked together.
They're hooked together, ready to
So,
go.
and if you had, let's say, 4 of these, you would turn this one on, scan and do it, leave this transmitter on, set it off to the side,
Right.
and do it a second time.
Yep.
So the receivers are smart enough to know where to put you.
They're not going to double up.
They're not going to double up on you. That's very cool.
One other real quick thing, and,
Okay.
and it's pretty unique. In this, you can. We all know that sometimes people will use the microphone and they'll have it on, and maybe they put it on mute, but then they set it down and they walk away, and it's still on, using batteries,
Yes.
eating up battery life.
Absolutely.
Right. In this, you can actually program between 1 minute and 120 minutes a turn-off time to where if it's in mute for a certain amount of time and the system's not seeing any active signal, it'll just shut the transmitter off.
Well, very good, Willie. I really, really, really glad you came by today, and thanks for agreeing to do this impromptu rep chat. Willie is the first one to do rep chat, so we're going to do more of these. Well, thanks for watching today. Please take a look at the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to like and look underneath the post. There'll be a link to this product to our website, and there'll also be a link to the Electro-Voice website to give you more information on frequencies and accessories. Thanks for watching. See you next time.